Alright guys, welcome to the Golf Camp. I'm your instructor Kyle Scott. If you're not sure about the channel, check out my intro video. It'll give you a little more explanation. But the very first thing I want to cover today is breaking 100. Right? For our high handicap golfers, it's something that plagues a lot of us. Maybe our weekend golfers don't get to go out that much, maybe once a month. Your average businessman golfer, they say, shoots 100. But I'm willing to tell you that you should be able to easily break 100 just by following a few simple strategies that I've discovered over time, have helped people that I've worked with. Okay, so I want to start with this. I want to start with your basic strategy going into a course. If this is a course that you play constantly, or that you've played, I don't know, maybe more than once a month, maybe it's your local course that you go to, bring home the scorecard. Okay, bring home the scorecard after your round and take a look at it. All right. Now, obviously, we all want to take driver off every par 4 and every par 5. We want to hit it 300 yards. We want to put it right down the fairway. We want to stick a wedge close, and we want to move on. Okay. But if we're trying to break 100, we probably don't hit our driver 300 yards, and we probably don't put it dead down the fairway. So some advice I would give you is bring home your scorecard. Okay. Look at the holes. Look at the distance of the holes. Usually, your higher handicap golfers have clubs that you're comfortable with. Normally, they're from your 7-iron up, okay, meaning 7, 8, 9, pitching wedge, and whatever other wedges you happen to have in your bag. Now, what I want you to do is look at it in that type of manner, okay? Let's say you hit your 8-iron 150 yards. I would say that's around about average, okay? Maybe you don't hit it quite as far. Maybe it's 7-iron, all right? Doesn't really matter. A comfortable club for you, okay? So if you have a hybrid in your bag, a 3-wood, something that's a little more forgiving, that driver you take out and hit into the woods, then take that, okay, write on the scorecard for the next time you go. On the first hole, you'll take hybrid. On the second hole, you might take 3-wood, okay? You want to try to divide it up because you want to try to get around that mark where you're still comfortable. Now, obviously, we don't want to take a 6-iron or a 5-iron off the tee if that leaves us 200 yards out, for the simple fact that if we're not comfortable hitting it that far, we probably don't need to put ourselves in that type of situation. You know, if you're not comfortable hitting the ball 200 yards, you don't want to put yourself in that situation where you're going to have to take a 3-iron or maybe a 4-iron and those harder, less lofted clubs that maybe could put us in trouble. Okay, so what I would advise you is take the scorecard home, look at it, okay, set it out and write it down, and then take that with you to the course. Now, you could easily say, well, I'll just go to the course, and when I get there, you know, I can look at that. I'll just decide what I want to take every time. That is true, but emotions play so much in the game of golf that the reason I would say to write it down is because let's say you go to the first hole, okay? You take your hybrid out, you hit a nice shot, then you shank it in the woods, scull it over the green, 4-putt, whatever the case may be. You take a double, a triple, maybe even worse. Okay, what's your next reaction going to be on that very next hole, that par 4 or par 5? You're going to take out a driver and you're going to try to smack it as far as you possibly can, which is probably not going to work out well for you. You're going to knock it in the woods, you're going to duff it short, and then the bad scores lead to more bad scores. Golf's big about momentum. It's a lot in the mental game of it. That's why I simply say that breaking 100 can all be because of strategy. Because simply cutting the course into sections like that will make it so much easier. Keeping it in between the trees, in between the rough, in between the fairways, things like that, that'll really lead to being able to lower your scores. You know, if you can putt for par every hole, I guarantee you're not going to shoot 100. It's just not going to happen. Okay? And if it is, then we need to definitely get on the putting green and we need to work on some drills with that. Okay? Some more things that I would tell you about is play to your strengths. Okay? If you hit a slice, if you hit a hook, anything like that, then play it. Aim a little left, aim a little right. It's not going to hurt. Aiming right down the middle when you obviously know it's going to go right and just hoping really hard is not going to lead to you hitting fairways. It's not. It's going to have to be a swing change. But instead of trying to make a swing change on the course, if you realize that that's a problem you're having, just aim that way. Just aim left. Aim left, let it come out, let it come back, and then put yourself right in the fairway. Okay? You can't hurt yourself in that manner. You really have to set yourself up for success in golf if you want to try to start getting those low scores. Okay? Another thing is you have to play smart. Right? Okay? You hit a bad drive. It goes in the woods. It happens to the best of us. Okay? I shoot low scores every day, I promise, and I still hit them in the woods. It happens. I don't know what to tell you. But what I can tell you is that when you get to that spot in the woods, okay, let's say you hit your drive to the right, you're deep in the woods, you get over there, you find your ball, and now you have two choices. You have a big hole left, right out into the fairway, put you 160 yards out, something to that effect, or you have a 2-foot gap through some trees, under a limb that you have to hit like a punch, fade, some kind of weird shot that only Tiger Woods and 3 other people in the world can hit. What are you obviously going to do? You're going to try to go through that hole because we're golfers and we think we can hit every shot. So then we hit a tree, it comes back in the woods, we get mad, we start duffing it, we do whatever. Why not just take a light iron, take your medicine, right? You hear your pros say that all the time, you hear your coaches say that. Take your medicine, knock it right out in the fairway. Knock it out in the fairway, and yeah, sure, maybe you got to get up and down for par from 160 yards. But you know what? I promise you, consistently, you're going to have a lot better chance of putting it out in the middle and putting it on the green that way. You can't always, because it works once, it's not going to work every time, is what I'm saying. You can't always just assume, well, I hit it through this hole once, and you can't put yourself in worse scenarios. Okay. I believe Arnold Palmer is the one who actually said that the secret to getting lower scores is an eraser. And while that may be the fact, and golf is a game where you yell 4, shoot 6, and write down 5, a real way to be able to track your scores and be like that is to be honest, okay? Go out, be honest with yourself, make every putt, stop giving yourself gimmies from 3 feet. While we all do it, that's not going to make us better, okay? That's not going to lead to low scores. So that's something that you need to work on. Okay. Another thing I like to do is I like to set goals for myself. When I pick up a scorecard, I don't normally just write my name on the top and do things like that. I use the 4 blocks at the top. I get my own scorecard even when I'm playing with my buddies, and I write the 4 things at the top. I write my score on the first one. I write my fairways, my greens, and my putts. And every day when I go out, I have a goal. Okay. I like to keep my fairways, depending on obviously the course, if you have your par 3s, things like that. But somewhere around the course I like to play, I like to keep it somewhere around 14 fairways. If I have 14 fairways, I feel like I got off the tee well that day. For the greens, also depending on the course, how hard it is, you might want to set yourself a more realistic goal, especially if you're trying to break 100. Don't set yourself for only missing 1 fairway because obviously that's probably not going to happen. Try to set realistic goals and keep moving them up. It's a lot like weightlifting, running, getting in shape, anything like that. You want to set yourself to realistic goals. So set yourself a goal. Set yourself a goal that says, I want to hit 10 fairways, I want to hit 8 greens in regulation, and I want to keep it under 30 putts. Something like that will really lead to lower scores, and it'll give you something to strive for, and hopefully it'll make yourself more honest, okay? Don't forget, guys, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, email us your questions right down there in the link below. That way we can tailor these lessons to obviously fit your game because we want to be able to be your own personal golf coach. We want to save you money. So send us your emails. We'll be sure to help you out, anything like that. I'm also doing a subscriber drive. I want to mention that. For every 100 subscribers I get, I'm going to pick someone at random, and you'll get a free sleeve of golf balls of your choice. So you can't beat that. So not only are you not paying for a golf coach now, you're now getting stuff for free just by simply clicking subscribe. So besides that, guys, that's all I got. Please email us your questions. I want to help you out, and happy hacking. See you out there.